This is Valley News Live at 6.
We begin with breaking news into our newsroom at this hour. This man, 22-year-old David Erno, has pleaded guilty to helping cover up the murder of Destiny Avery. He's one of 4 people accused in her death. Erno will be sentenced a month from now on April 19th.
We are still waiting to find out what happens with the man accused of murdering Destiny. Ethan Broad was supposed to be sentenced, but now says he wants to go to trial on March 31st.
New tonight at 6, a Minnesota woman has a warning for you tonight. She reached out to our whistleblower hotline saying that an upcoming margarita bar crawl in downtown Fargo is a scam. It even had the city of Fargo duped.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley found out today that the woman is out $450 and doesn't want anyone else to fall victim.
I'm out $463.54.
After a grim year on the front lines of COVID-19, Carrie Anderson and some of her co-workers thought this margarita and Sunday Funday bar crawl in downtown Fargo next weekend sounded perfect.
It's disappointing that people can take advantage of you like that and get away with it.
But shortly after purchasing 7 tickets, the dates for both crawls changed to late November, quote, due to COVID. But Anderson says this is all part of the company Bar Crawl Unlimited's plot.
They do these in New Orleans, Tennessee, Illinois, I mean, all over. And so they're going from state to state taking money from people.
Anderson asked for a refund but never heard back from the company. And when she asked Eventbrite, the vendor she bought the tickets through, they turned her down.
Because this is a non-refundable event, as long as it is postponed, they will not give me money back.
Searches of Bar Crawl Unlimited show dozens of complaints from around the U.S. on the Better Business Bureau site and an F rating.
Pages of people who said that they just take your money and then they continue to change the dates.
Anderson's advice:
don't trust people. And that's really sad to say. I don't want people to get taken advantage of because, you know, in this day and age, we're just trying to have a good time after being locked up for over a year. And this is what happened.
In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Both bar crawls advertised on the Fargo-Moorhead Tourism and Events website before Anderson notified them of the scam. A spokeswoman says that they have since flagged the bar crawls as fraudulent on Facebook. However, with no contact information listed and events are held around the country, there isn't much more that they can do besides telling authorities. Now, we did reach out to both Eventbrite and Bar Crawl Unlimited today multiple times, but we did not hear back. And if you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, here's some sound advice. Call our whistleblower hotline. We'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Call 701-237-6576 and leave your tip.
Hope you had a chance to get outside today. It's been nice and looks to be getting better as we hit the weekend. Let's begin with a sneak peek of tonight's conditions, and Hutch is here with that. Hutch?
Andrea, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. Beautiful conditions as you see on the sky cam. Not even a cloud out there, and the wind very quiet as well. Perfect to get out and enjoy any outdoor activities. Satellite and radar pretty much quiet as can be. 50 degrees right now in Fergus Falls, 52 still in Grand Forks, and we still have 50s in Jamestown and Hallock as well. As we take a look at your planning forecast, we will dip into the 40s through the 8 o'clock hour, and then tonight we'll dip down into the 30s for a cool evening. Those south winds, though, 5 to 15 miles per hour will be persistent. Grand Forks similarly 30s by bedtime, and overnight will cool in many locations into the 20s. Looking beyond a warm up through the weekend, we have our eyes on our next winter weather maker. Could happen on Wednesday. I'll have hour by hour details on what you can expect as we have issued a first alert weather day for next Wednesday. We'll talk about it all in a moment.
All right. Thanks, Hutch.
Fargo leaders will be discussing a proposal for a bias crime ordinance. City Commissioner Arlette Preston says violators could be fined up to $1,500 and spend 30 days in jail. Preston says a similar proposal was defeated recently by the North Dakota legislature. She says a city ordinance would be an attempt to protect our local residents.
Bias crimes certainly committed in our community, and in 2019, 8 crimes were recorded, and in 2020, which I just have the numbers through October at this point, there were 10 bias crimes reported in the first 9 months.
If commissioners approve the proposal during Monday's meeting, it would still require further work by the city attorney before being voted on by the full council at a later date.
We are learning more about the officer-involved shooting in the Fort Totten area yesterday that left a man dead. The man killed was identified as 44-year-old David Suarez. The FBI says he was shot by an officer following a pursuit and a fight that happened after the vehicle stopped. There were 3 others in the vehicle who were not hurt. A Fort Totten man has been indicted for first-degree murder. The indictment alleges that Cody James Bellegarde shot a boy to death on the Spirit Lake Reservation back in January. The boy's death was discovered after a report of a house fire. The case is still under investigation.
A Thief River Falls, Minnesota woman is charged with a woman's death after police say she sold her drugs. Haley Sheridan was charged with third-degree murder and sale of a controlled substance. Authorities say last July, police found 44-year-old Melanie Fayette unresponsive at an apartment complex in Thief River. She died about 2 weeks later at a Fargo hospital. Sheridan denied selling drugs to the victim, but investigators found text messages between the two. An 18-year-old is pleading guilty to a brutal assault in South Moorhead. Ashton Bellafuel is charged with second-degree attempted murder as well as 2 assault charges. The incident happened back in November after multiple callers reported an ongoing disturbance in an apartment. A woman was assaulted with a knife, screwdriver, and stick. Another woman stabbed in the eye and in the neck. One victim jumped off the roof of the apartment complex to escape. If convicted, Bellafuel could spend more than 50 years in prison.
In tonight's vaccine coverage, Clay County Public Health is receiving more COVID vaccines this week. Last week, Clay County administered nearly 900 doses. This week, 1,700 doses will be administered, 1,500 first doses and 200 second. Health officials also say over 20% of people in Clay County have received 1 dose and more than 10% have received both. In those ages 50 to 64, close to 30% have received the first dose and almost 70% have completed the series. Although they are seeing lower positive cases of COVID-19, city officials say to remain cautious over the next several weeks. All Clay County schools have been offered the vaccine multiple times, but no data has been released about how many staff members have been vaccinated.
More than 2 million doses of the vaccine have been administered in the state of Minnesota. The governor says it took more than 2 months for the state to administer the first 1 million doses, but it took less than a month to administer the next 1 million. More than 1.3 million Minnesotans have gotten at least 1 dose of the vaccine, and more than 764,000 are fully vaccinated. And to stay on top of the latest COVID vaccine-related information, use our VNL Vaccine Tracker. It's right on the home page of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it to the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up.
A woman is seriously hurt following a high-speed chase in the Fargo Metro that ended with a crash. It happened around 2 this morning when Fargo police tried to stop a car on I-94. The car turned onto I-29 and took off. Police followed the vehicle until it wasn't safe anymore. Eventually, the driver crashed into another vehicle on West Track Drive. Drivers from both vehicles ended up running away. A passenger in the car that police officers were chasing was taken to a hospital. The Cass County Sheriff's Office is asking for help identifying 2 people and a white pickup in regard to an active investigation. The pickup is believed to be a 2015 to 2021 Chevy 2500 with a Z71 off-road package with North Dakota plates that may now have paper or dealer plates. If you have any information, you're asked to call 241-5834.
And police are letting you know about a high-risk sex offender in the Fargo area. Kilo Trayvon Bowen Davis is currently homeless. He was convicted in May of 2018 in a sexual imposition case. His victim was a 17-year-old girl.
A man is recovering from extensive burns and a firefighter is injured after a fire in Bemidji. It happened yesterday afternoon at a car salvage lot just south of the city. At one point, 50 firefighters were battling the flames, along with help from 3 other fire departments and local law enforcement. The cause is still under investigation.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, meet the injured marsupial that has found a home at the Red River Zoo.
Beautiful temperatures on this Thursday afternoon, returning to the 50s with sunshine and light winds. Hey, spring is on the way. That begins on Saturday. Your hour-by-hour forecast for the rest of our work week and weekend ahead coming up right after this.